What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Hurt Business Podcast. My name is Ferris Shirari, and today I'm joined by
Mute Leech,
Mute Leech today. Why the mute?
because there's nothing to talk about.
Yeah, there's not much on today. Not really much. The real Bodmon in the building, of course. But aside from the exciting pair we make, there's not much going on in combat sports this weekend, unfortunately. Jack Catterall, Josh Taylor. It's a phenomenal fight, but that's really it. Yeah, that's
That's
it.
it. That's all there is.
Unless you were watching Greg Hardy get absolutely blown to dust the other night. Did you see him fight?
Yeah, he got slumped once again. I don't know what his deal is. Is he a bare knuckle boxer? Is he a boxer? Is he a mixed martial art? Like he's in like all different types of organizations.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
no matter where he's going, he's getting slumped.
Yeah, and it gets sadder and sadder whenever the people knocking him out become less and less known, and it just continues to get more and more like smaller shows. It's like, what's the point, brother? What are you doing it for? Right?
It's kind of pointless at this
what are
point.
we doing here? But yeah,
just losing brain cells for free.
For fun, because it's a fun thing to do. But aside from that, we've been covering this story for the past few weeks on the pod ever since their clash. Of course, I'm talking about Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney. But it is after May 22nd, and it is officially been confirmed that Ryan Garcia is positive and a cheat, and he actively had octins. I still don't know what the fuck that shit is. Yeah, I still don't know what that is. You gave a good
performance enhancement.
Yeah, you told us last time we talked about it. But it's sad to see like it come full circle, and he's like really
he's done.
That's crazy, huh?
He's Ryan Garcia. He's done, man. Nobody's ever gonna want to do business with him anymore, and he kind of knows that too. He thinks it's a joke. He's like joking around with it on Twitter, saying "fuck steroids," or he said "fuck steroids" at first before the news came out, and then he said "I love steroids." Like, this guy is so delusional. And then he's going out saying, "I'm sorry, I didn't know I was just doing weed and ashwagandha and all this other shit." It's like, come on, dude. Like, your levels for that shit were like 60 times over the normal level for that kind of shit. You were taking that shit like knowing you were taking it. There's no way you accidentally go 60 times over the normal limit for that. 60 fucking times over the normal limit. He's done for. Nobody's going to want to do business with him. Boxing is probably going to be done with him. I don't know what he does from here. I don't know how he can possibly recover from this. He won't be getting that fight with Devin Haney again, which honestly, not that bad of a deal for Devin Haney, because now he can kind of move on from this. I know he's kind of verbally said that already on one of the talk shows. He was I can't remember which one it was, but he verbally had already stated, like, I don't really want to fight Ryan Garcia again. It's just like no point. Like, he's a cheat, blah blah blah, this, that, and the fourth. So, good for Devin Haney, I guess. He kind of can move on, but I don't know. That might sit wrong with me, man, knowing that like I can't really get that back with the guy that basically beat me pretty bad, but
he was a cheat.
All things considered, exactly. All things considered, he did cheat.
Yeah.
So that was tough, man. That was tough to see, man. Ryan Garcia is spiraling right now on Twitter. As we speak, he's spiraling right now.
It's definitely, he hasn't taken his foot off the gas since the fight, before the fight, and it's definitely not a good look to parlay this in with him missing weight and not giving a fuck about coming in overweight. Like all of these things considered, it's a horrible look on him. You made a good point about like the future Ryan Garcia business and what does that look like. It's not very bright at the current moment. He's still like one of the best young boxers of our like sport today, but like if you can't get this insane act under wraps and kind of act like a fighter versus like a carnival character, then like like you know what I'm saying? Like you got to get back in there, bro. You got to get back in there with Devin. You guys run that back. I'm sure the Haney camp wants no parts of it. They are still the champion. They still got the gold. They don't got to run it back with Ryan at this point. But it feels like the the right next move for everybody involved is a rematch, but this time, no drugs. Let's just be healthy. Let's just be clean athletes, as you guys always promote yourselves as such. So carry yourselves like as that, right, Ryan? I'm talking directly to you, buddy. You know, put all that shit away, all the weed and all the what's the other shit he was on, the hallucination. Yeah, get off that shit, buddy. You know what I'm saying? You're too good. You're too young. You're on your way to your prime of your physical peak, and you are an absolute lunatic. And I don't know if you heard Eddie Hearn's comments on the Ryan Garcia as of recently, but that's a promoter publicly saying that you're acting childish at that level is a horrible look. It's a horrible look.
Yeah. It's weird, man. You said it best. Like, as good of a boxer he is, he doesn't really take boxing serious at all. And I don't know where this happened. I don't know if it was just like after he fought Tank and lost, like he just kind of changed up a little bit. He's just been acting weird. I don't know, man. This guy's got a horrible PR team. He's clearly got a terrible coaching staff. Clearly has a horrible nutritionist. Like everybody around him is just bad for him. Like everybody around him is bad for him. Maybe not his boxing coach. I like his boxing coach, but everybody else around him is just terrible. Like, how do you let this man take PDs like that much? Like,
just come
at a professional level, man.
Yeah, it's disappointing for sure. I think that's a good point to like kind of blame everybody around him for letting him do this much, but at the same time,
100%, man.
At the same time, I really point at Ryan because like in boxing, the boxer is the business. He's like you're the one who makes all the decisions around everything. So like all these people fall in line to what Ryan Garcia has to say, and he's clearly hasn't been a good leader for that group of people. He hasn't been leading the dance. Instead, he's been shooting octans and octanes, whatever, It is true. I'm hesitant to blame the people around him, and more so, I'm just going directly to Ryan. I think he's the source of all these problems, and that's definitely who we should be blaming.
Yeah, definitely blame Ryan, but we'll blame everybody.
Yeah,
we'll keep it at that. It is Ryan's fault. But I find it hard to believe that there wasn't one person in there that was like, "Hey, man, this is not a good idea."
Right.
Like all the bullshit aside, all the Twitter antics aside, it's just me and you here talking. Like, you got to grow up. Like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, I find it so hard to believe everybody in there is as immature as Ryan Garcia is. I find it hard to believe.
That's fair. That's fair. But they all might be different versions of the same childish, you know?
I guess.
On the topic of these two, before we move past it, did you see that clip of Devin talking about him not wanting to be in the game? The
undisputed game, yeah, because he wasn't he wasn't on the cover of it or something.
What did you think of those comments?
Honestly, I was like, whatever. I like the game, so it would have been fun to play as Devin Haney from a fan perspective, but I don't know, man. I don't know. It is what it is.
You got to be at least a little bit disappointed, right? Like as somebody who likes the game and was like Devin's one of your guys. Now you don't get a chance to play with him because he's not the face of the game. Come on.
I said that. I was like, I was sad about that, but it's like it's his decision at the end of the day. Like, you know your worth, right? So if he thinks he should be the cover of it, then by all means, know your worth, right?
Yeah. When you say it like that, it I don't want to shit on him, but like, come on, man, you don't got to be that entitled to not want to be in the whole game, not give everybody a chance to play with you, and like even him in the same interview went on to say like how much of a dream it was since a kid to be a part of a video game, and then to decline the opportunity because you're not one of two people on the face. It's like, come on, are you top 2 pound for pound?
He probably said that when he was younger.
Yeah, he said it in the same interview.
He's a little older.
I want to be in the game. I've always wanted to be in a video game.
Yeah.
But then you're declining the opportunity because you're not the face of it, brother. Are you top 5 pound for pound?
I mean, he was one of the first. He was the first lightweight to ever be undisputed in the history of the sport. But Nonetheless, that is an incredible achievement. He is not pound for pound top 3 right now. After that loss to Ryan Garcia, that was a tough one. But I forget the point I was gonna make.
He's not in the game because he's entitled, man.
I
That's
know
the
he's not.
point
I
here.
know he's not in the game because he's entitled. But at
All
the
right.
end of the day, it's not like this small indie studio was paying him a bag to be in it anyway.
That's
It's
true.
like he wasn't getting paid. All the people that are in the game were volunteered to be in the game. So
Yeah, that's true. That's true. If you were choosing the faces, who would you put on the face? You
the
have three
face of the
options.
game,
3 options.
dude. There's only 3 options. You got to pick the best of the best.
So say
You
it
got to
again.
have Neo on there. You got to have Usyk on there, and then you got to have Clarissa, just to have a female on there as well. It's the GOAT. Did you see that DM Ryan sent her?
Yo, I was not
He
expecting
goes,
it.
"We'll have a baby." He says, "If we have a baby, it'll be a superhuman." And she was like, "You need to get help.
Yeah.
You need help."
Yeah. That dude needs help, man.
But yeah, I don't really. It's fuck it, man. Can still play as Terrence Crawford.
Yeah, that's true.
By the way, you keep ducking smoke. We're supposed to didn't get that.
I don't know what you. It's not out on P5
But I know why you're not gonna get the game. We all know why you're not gonna get it.
Why is that?
We know why.
It's not on P5. I got a P5.
It ain't the reason.
What's the reason?
It ain't the reason, young man.
All right, moving on. Another topic in boxing. The actual fight we'll be watching, and the only fight going on this weekend. Jack Catterall, Josh Taylor 2, the rematch to a great fight that happened last year. I enjoyed it. I've been seeing
Was it last year?
Was it? Yeah, I feel like it was last year. Yeah, or maybe the year before. Anyways, yeah, time flies, bro. It's a rematch. 2 dudes who definitely hate each other. Absolutely cannot stand being in the same stage as one another. But like when it comes to skills, when it comes to the talent of the sport, these guys definitely belong in there with one another. Josh Taylor on his best nights compete with the pound for pound best. He's definitely up there with the best boxers on planet Earth.
With each other.
Huh?
Long in there with each other.
They do, man. You seen Jack Catterall, how he put Josh on the ground last fight, held his own when nobody expected him to, including myself. I was on this podcast talking about Josh Taylor's gonna run through this guy. I don't know him. Nobody does. It's another one of these.
That was Josh Taylor on the worst night of his career.
Possibly.
That was him on the worst night of his career. Still, that was even his worst fight, even still to this day. Even after Tiafimo, that was even still worse than that.
Interesting. All right.
That was the worst performance from Josh Taylor.
So Catterall doesn't belong in there with him? Is that where you're?
I'm gonna be honest. Catterall's good. He's very good. He didn't have a resume before, and that was kind of like at that time I was shitting on him a little bit. I was like, okay, this guy has nobody on his resume, like legit nobody. And he got a couple ones in there now. Notably Jorge Linares, who's an older guy, but he still beat him. And he beat him pretty well. But man, Jack Catterall is just like a step, just a half step above a journeyman. Like at best, half step above a journeyman.
Josh Taylor?
No, Jack Catterall.
That's crazy.
He is like a half step above a journeyman. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. And even going into the fight, still now, I still have the same feelings about it, man. Like Taylor is just levels, and I put plural levels above Catterall, man. And when we think about what they've both done, achievement wise, like obviously Josh Taylor has achieved way, way more. And I think people are starting to like write that off in this decision. Like, okay, you lost to Tiafimo pretty bad. You kind of lost to Jack Catterall. Jack Catterall was the better man in that fight, because I believe Josh Taylor was the absolute worst he's ever been in his career. He was drained physically. I don't even know if he can do this weight class anymore. I'm surprised 3 years later he's still doing this. Or 2 years later he's still doing this weight class. But it's kind of interesting, right? Because like both of these guys do have a lot of animosity towards each other, but I feel like Catterall has played it very well. Being the victim in this, and he's still doing it 2 years later, which is it's like, come on, man! Like 2 years, you're still playing the victim. We get it, you lost. We get it. I mean, we get it. You should have won the fight, but I like Taylor's position in this fight. He's sort of the villain in this, and I like that about him. He has a lot to prove. This is not a fight he can lose. Like after losing a fight to Teofimo Lopez, the way he lost that fight, this is not a fight he can afford to lose. Like he's not even in the pound for pound discussion anymore right now. He shouldn't be long in this weight class. And Jack Catterall is, like I said, I'm gonna say it again. He's just a level above the journeyman in this weight division.
All right, I'm gonna.
Who got lucky? Who got very lucky against a superior boxer who was having the worst fight in his career for that night.
Right, I'm gonna jump in here. It's hard to be lucky for 12 straight rounds. That is,
it was not 12 straight rounds.
After 12, you have to start to ask yourself, is this luck? And maybe it was a horrible night for Josh Taylor, but since then,
it was.
Since then, he's 1-1, right? Losing to Teofimo Lopez in the fashion. He got outboxed in that one as well. Was that another? Was that another?
No, that was that was. Don't do this like patronizing thing. Like it's not another.
I'm just trying to gauge. Your feelings on Josh Taylor in 2024 because there's no doubt to say there's a decline.
We both talk about it. We know what Teofimo Lopez was going to do in this weight. We know what he was going to do in this weight class. We talked about this already. We knew this weight class, he was going to be unstoppable. We said that while he was in the lightweights, fighting the Devin Haneys and the Camboses. We said this kid will be light years better if he moves up. We said that already.
Yeah.
So we came into that fight, and we said Teofimo Lopez was going to win. I even said it. I was like, Josh Taylor is not going to win this fight. I don't think he will. So, like, don't do this. Don't do this, like...
And then he lost. But anyways...
No shit. No, it's not luck. He lost. He lost that fight. And I knew he was going to lose that fight. But continue.
Yeah, Teofimo's another guy who's streaky. You never know what to expect whenever he jumps in there. So that was another one where we expected Teofimo to move up and dominate. But, like, do we ever expect Teo to show up? We can't be too sure. But Josh Taylor's another guy. Let me bring it back to the fight we're actually about to watch this weekend.
Okay.
Jack Catterall, a step or whatever you said above.
He's a step above journeyman.
That is so crazy, bro. The guy is 28-1, bro, fighting the best guys.
Bro,
stop it.
Absolute bums.
Stop it. Bro.
Absolute bums, dude.
He beat the shit out of Josh Taylor in that first fight. Unfortunately, the refs just couldn't give him the decision because of politics and all the bullshit going on. He did
lose a point though. Jack Catterall did lose a point in that.
Which was another I was rewatching it. It was like, come on, ref. You gonna really make it about you?
That was very warranted though. He was doing a lot.
I'm not gonna argue about every single little thing. I'm taking Jack Catterall. Honestly, my head thinks Josh Taylor's gonna win, but just how passionate and how disrespectful you were towards Jack Catterall, I'm hoping he shows up and beats the brakes off Josh Taylor, and so I can come on here and just be like, you know what I'm saying?
And he could, but he won't.
We'll see. I'm going Jack Catterall, man. I think he's a legit boxer. He's wicked good. He does some things with his feet that really confused Josh in their last fight. The positioning thing was a little bit tricky for him, and he picks his shots well, bro. And Josh is a guy who tends to get emotional. He tends to get into fire fights with you, and Jack can lure him into one and then beat the shit out of him. So I'm going Jack Catterall. Let's fucking go.
I want you to put money on that, man. I don't even know, honestly. But I imagine people are going with Josh Taylor anyway. just because he's Josh Taylor. But dude, Jack Catterall got absolutely lucky that night. I'm sorry. Jack Catterall got absolutely lucky that night. And we can even say he didn't get lucky because he didn't come out with the win, which I think he should have won that fight 100%. They should have handed him the win. But
this is gonna blow your mind. Jack Catterall's the favorite.
That doesn't surprise me either.
You just said it. The whole world is probably taking Josh Taylor.
I said probably. Because he's Josh Taylor. He's still an elite level boxer, man. And with the fact that he can't really lose this fight, man, I can't go against him in this. He's just so much better. He just needs to show up. Josh Taylor just needs to show up on Saturday. And honestly, the worst version of Josh Taylor still looked better than Jack Catterall. And still would beat Jack Catterall. And he'll show up and beat him Saturday. But he has to show up. He did look terrible, though. Once again, at 139 pounds, he looked horrible on that scale. Horrible. Horrible. So I hope he blows up, gets the weight back on. He's healthy. And I just don't see him losing, man. I just don't see him losing. A lot of the stuff he was doing in that fight, too, was just kind of questionable, man. We know Josh can be a little aggressive. And, he likes to get into people's faces. But Jack Catterall did have some good footwork, and I felt like he should have just made it an easy fight for himself and stayed at the distance. The jab was money anyway. I don't know why he didn't just continue to use it, but I guess it was just like an ego thing where he hated the guy and wanted to knock him out. So I don't think he's going to have any ego in this fight. He already won technically. He can hold that above his head, and he can hold that above Jack. So he really has nothing to prove on Saturday besides showing up and winning the fight, which I think he will do.
Fair. Respect, bro. This is going to be a banger of a fight. Last topic on boxing before we push past it. I sent you it right before we jumped on here. Spence moving up to 54 to fight a world champion, the WBC world champion, Sebastian Fundora. I forgot his nickname at the moment, but he's like 6'8". You know what I'm saying? He's like Wembenyama in the ring.
You say this every single time you describe him.
Every time, and I'm going to continue saying it. What do you think of that fight?
I mean, we all knew it was the next fight going to happen. We saw Terrence moving up in weight. He didn't want to give Errol Spence the shot again, which it's fair, right? He beat him pretty bad. He feels like he doesn't deserve the shot right away.
Yeah.
But, that fight will come around again. I don't want to give too much out on this fight just yet because I know we'll talk about it more. But I do think it's a very interesting matchup for Errol Spence. I think he's going to have a lot of problems with the range, a very taller fighter. But that tree can get chopped, and it has before, man.
Yeah, it has. It has by a sniper. A sniper does knock down the tall. But yeah, like stylistically, it's a crazy fun fight. It's probably one of the hardest fights in the division for anybody, just with Fundora's size.
Yeah.
Tricky puzzle, but I'm pumped for that. I don't know why Terrence didn't take the Fundora route versus the Israel Maga, whatever that guy's name was.
Yeah.
Why not take the Fundora route? He's way more known in the U.S., kind of your market.
He's going after those. He's going after these belts and all these divisions, man. That's what Terrence wants to do. I respect it. You think he'll go as far as fighting Bivol?
He might. He might like beat Canelo and then jump to Bivol. Just go all the way.
Hey, I can see it happening.
Usyk?
That's way too much weight.
Way too big. All right, fair.
Bivol might even be too much weight.
I'm kind of wondering how like the 147-pound like titles what that landscape looks like, because now Crawford's out, Spence is gone. Like the belts now all seem vacant, right? Now I'm about to have a bunch of world titles on the line soon at 47.
Yeah, because Terrence left.
Or like all the interims get promoted to
no
full-time champ.
No.
On their Devin Haney shit. What? All right.
Wow. Okay. All right.
He was.
That makes sense.
That's what happened.
That's not what happened.
That's
not what happened.
His first world title. All right. Anyways.
And then he fought for it.
Yeah. And then he earned it.
And then he fought for all of them twice and earned them. So
My
you can
fault.
stop. You can stop the bullshit.
My fault. I like to
You
throw
can stop.
jabs.
You can stop the bullshit. Let's see you throw a jab. Let's see your jab.
I'm mad at him for not being in the game.
Fingers open.
The gloves, bro. What happened? Fucking...
Slow jab too.
All right.
I'm cracking it.
All right. Are you? Anyways,
set it up.
We last talked about our guy Khalil Rountree getting popped. The replacement has been announced for that fight. Did you see it?
No, I have not.
Carlos Ulberg.
All right. That's okay.
For real, it's legit. He's legit stepping in. He's fighting Jamal Hill.
So he just skipped like 10 rankings.
Skipped them all, bro. Just because after his last fight, he was on an interview and he was like, "Yeah, I'm around if that fight anything happens." So like,
if he wins, he's about to fight for a title.
That's the game.
Good God. All right, I respect it. I don't think Jamal will lose to Carlos, but
yeah. I mean, it's a way more favorable matchup for Jamal Hill. Way more winnable.
Yeah, you have to take that. But it's also a donation if he loses.
Yeah.
Like you just lost to what number is he? I don't even think Carlos could be ranked right now, is he?
That's a good question. Hold on.
I like that. What is his current ranking?
I type UFC. The rankings is the first thing. Jamal is 3. Ulberg is 11.
So he's not even ranked in the top 10. He's flying in the fucking belt. I respect it. Honestly, I do. But that's a tough one to throw up, man. If you lose that one, that's like you're going back.
Yeah, you are going back. Or maybe like you kind of just hang out there, right? Because you lose to the number 3 guy.
Like, you know how it goes.
How much stock do you lose on short notice?
No, I'm saying if Jamal loses.
Yeah.
That's a lot. That's a big loss.
That's a huge loss, bro.
Big loss, man. So he can't lose that. So
could you imagine that downfall if he loses to Alex and then he loses to 11th ranked guy? Damn, 2024 from hell. Anyways. Yeah, it's fun. It's a little disappointing for that UFC 303 card. That's the one McGregor's fighting Chandler on. That was the co-main event. It was so exciting. Now it's a lot less exciting.
Yeah.
Not the best card in the world. I'm hoping the UFC makes some adjustments, and it becomes a fun card.
Make it a little bit more entertaining than what it is now.
Yeah, it gotta be, because what it is right now is not much outside of Conor.
Yeah. I don't know why they just put that event together with Conor and think it'll be enough because it is Conor, but from a super fan perspective, this card can be so much more.
Yeah, agreed.
What it is. To have a Conor McGregor who fights like every 2 years now. Like,
yeah. If we're lucky.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe there's still time, you know?
There's still a lot of time. International Fight Week, that feels like a big weekend for combat sports. You would think the leader.
Yeah, you would think, right?
The leader got a little more for us.
Mm-hmm.
But, they don't want to put no champions on there. They don't want to pay no pay-per-view points. They want to just, enjoy all of it with Conor. But anyways.
I just seen this crazy headline. Dricuss Duplessis plans to beat Israel Adesanya, then move up to light heavy.
Oh, yeah, I did see that.
Jeez. All right.
Wait. This is kind of a fun topic.
Dricuss is not beating Israel Adesanya. Yeah. To be honest, I don't think he has enough to beat Israel Adesanya. But then I said that about Sean Strickland, and we all see what happened there. I don't think Dricuss. I don't know, man. I don't think it's a good idea for him to move up to 205. I don't think that's his place. I think those guys are just a little bit too heavy. Man, that's a big statement, man. To not even fight Israel yet.
Yeah.
And to already be like, after I beat him, I'm gonna go up to 205. Like that's, I don't know. Yeah. I don't know about that.
Yeah, it's like you're counting your what's that saying? You're counting your eggs before you got your chickens or whatever that saying is. Counting your eggs before they hatch, whatever. Yeah. It's kind of a ballsy move.
Yeah.
it's kind of a ballsy move for Duplessis to come out, but he got to say some shit like that, right? You gotta excite the people. You got to say you're gonna beat the guy, right?
Yeah, you can, but like
After
also,
years of the kind of going back and forth about who's the real African and all that bullshit, there's a lot of history there, and I think Izzy's kind of been sitting in the back, waiting, and so has Duplessis for kind of some time now. I think the UFC's probably saving them for that big UK card at the end of the summer. It's pretty obvious, right?
yeah.
Yeah, and they're saving Kai Kara and all these big name guys. But yeah, I kind of agree with you. I don't think Duplessis goes out there and beats Israel, any version of Duplessis. But that might just be like, me rooting for the comeback.
We all want the comeback.
Yeah, you seen his new mural?
Israel not being the champ just doesn't make sense to me.
It
But
don't make
but
sense.
yeah,
You seen that mural?
yeah, I've seen the mural. It's pretty sick.
That shit's
It's sick.
fire.
It's pretty fire. But yeah, I just thought we mentioned that it came up. But yeah, he's a nut. He's a nutcase. Get through Izzy if you can even do that, and then worry about putting on fucking 20 extra pounds going up to light heavy.
Yeah, it's a big jump. But yeah, let's end it at that. Listeners, if you made it to this part of the pod, Josh and I greatly appreciate the support. Subscribe to the tube. Listen and subscribe and rate 5 stars on Apple, Spotify, all those other platforms. Buy some merch, hppshop.com, and we'll catch you guys in a few days in the next one.
Peace.